Hello, everyone. Welcome into the PHLY, soon-to-be Phillies post-game show. We're getting it started a little early here today, as there are 2 outs in the top of the 9th. And Chris Slemmer, thank you for joining us right off the bat. You are our top sicko, and we appreciate you. Jose Alvarado, Renee, is on the mound. There's 2 strikes and 2 outs, and the Phillies look like they're about to dodge a huge bullet as Gregory Soto tried his damnedest to give this game away.
Yeah, everything started out very exciting, even giving up that early run in the first, and it felt like this game was over until it wasn't. And here we are now with, yet again, another down-to-the-wire game. Why does this keep happening? It's the Colorado Rockies. It's been a good start to the game, and now just up by 1 run, and we have to be nervous.
Yeah, if Jose closes this out, it's a great sweep, and we'll forget all of this PTSD that we're going through right now. But the bullpen, really made this a sweat when it shouldn't have been on a night where Kyle Schwarber gets 2 home runs. And there we have a single. So the tying run is on first base. Everybody, hold on to your butts. Are you ready to die? So here we are. Yes, and
let me see if I'm ahead of you.
No, don't you.
So for all you guys that are, as you're tuning in, I'm always ahead of Jamie and Tyler because on my phone, I get the updates quicker.
We went through this in the playoffs, and we told you to stop checking the updates.
Yeah, but I'm watching the game on my phone.
We're watching it right here on my computer together. You don't have to go ahead, and you don't have to react. I promise you. Okay. Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's good.
At least it's silent, so I'm not going to get the alert.
Well, it's not like there's just misery in the air because our pals, the Sixers show, is down the hall.
This is what we do
and
best,
the Sixers
right?
look like they've never seen a zone defense before in their life. And our Wi-Fi is giving us issues and fighting us on everything. And I couldn't figure out a chair. I almost ended up throwing one of those out the window. Parking lot issues.
Now, the chair is on you.
Who the hell has latches on the arms of chairs? I've never seen that.
Jamie was about ready to get into a fist fight with a chair. And he goes, can one of you fix this? And I walked over and I unlatched the latch. And it
chairs don't have latches.
And then I latched it back up and I locked it into place.
I think it's actually a creative idea as a way to lock in the armrest.
You were about ready to Morgan Wallen that chair.
I was going to
off the roof.
Was it Toby Keith's place?
I will say the Sixers are at least making it a close game. As of now, it is a 6-point game. They're down. 6 minutes left in the third quarter. So
I realize how dead inside I am tonight when it comes to the Sixers.
Yeah. Jamie hasn't been in a great mood, guys. It's been okay though.
I mean, and then Gregory Soto had to come in here and really just add some lemon juice to the wound there.
You didn't need that. You were already struggling.
It was everything was set up for a nice, easy. We did a cocktail club tonight, Renee. Everything was set up for a nice, easy feet up. Sixers win. We get the Knicks in a real series. Phillies are up like 7-1. Schwarber's hitting bombs. Trea Turner's out of his funk.
There it is.
Did he get him out? Oh, might want to challenge that one, Rob, as JT just potentially made a throw out at second place. Looked pretty close. Don't you check your update to find out?
It's so tempting.
Let's see if they're going to review it.
Significantly faster than
Let's
yours.
see. They're checking with the booth. Do we review this one? I love when they do the you check that out on the headset. Let's see.
Yeah, it's so official.
What is it? Is it Caleb Cotham that makes the call? I think it usually. Oh, and they cut away. Thanks, NBC Sports Philly. So we don't know. Here's the replay. Safe. He's safe. He is in there. Should not review that one. Let's hope they don't. But now the tying run is on second base.
Everything's fine, guys. This is fine.
Yeah,
this is totally fine.
We wouldn't overreact to a blown 7-1 save. It's only April 17th, Renee. You're not allowed to react
so early
hastily.
in the season.
Oh, they are challenging it? Dude. Now, I assume, if anybody knows the answer to this, they have several angles of the replay. Like when the bench coach calls up to the booth, I would assume they have the same replay accessibility that the league offices are going to review, meaning you can see it from 3 or 4 different angles.
So you should know whether or not you should review it.
Because the angle we just saw, he was clearly safe. Like, like this is the one. It's straight on, shot from Philly's dugout. He gets his hand in. Safe.
Oh, yeah.
By like a decent amount. So why would you challenge this unless you don't have that angle on your replay coach?
Exactly.
So the Phillies are going to lose this one, and that's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Again, it's April. It's still early in the season.
Yeah, call stands. No shit, it stands.
Oh, man.
He was clearly safe. Was that Nolan Jones?
Well, the Sixers are now down by 2.
Okay.
So they're crawling back.
All right.
Slowly.
Yeah.
A lot of time left on the clock.
Sixers pretending like they've never seen a zone defense before. It was an interesting strategy to implore against the team that runs the most zone defense in the NBA.
Yeah.
At a whopping 18 or 13%.
Yeah, exactly.
So they just went, the Sixers act real dumb every playoffs. Why don't you just ratchet up the zone defense on them, and they'll help you make it look real dumb. Why do I have
a zone defense?
I believe in Jose Alvarado, but I also feel like disaster is looming.
Well, it's just also been the way the season has started. Like anything can go wrong at any given moment, and you're just kind of waiting to see when the next shoe's going to fall off. And I feel like the Phillies have had some really remarkably weird, sloppy plays and games. So,
that's a pop fly. The Phillies are going to get out of here with the sweep. Bryson Stott closes it out. Jose Alvarado gets the job done. There we have it. Phillies win 7-6. I will flip us over to the Sixers game so we can view it in here as we do our jobs, Renee. Woo-hoo! But there you have it, folks. The first sweep.
Yay.
The Phillies take care of business tonight. Much more frightening than it should have been because that should have been a game. First inning, Kyle Schwarber, Trea Turner go back to back. We'll get into all the details of the game, but welcome in if you're just joining us. If you're braving us over the Sixers tonight, you officially are sick in the head as a Phillies fan, and we love you for that. It didn't have to be that difficult tonight. It just didn't. Gregory Soto, what are you doing, baby?
So I'm trying really hard these days to be more positive and optimistic. And my positive spin is the Phillies continue to find ways to win.
They swept. It's a good. This is a good complaint.
They get the series sweep, even though you had game 1, as we know, went into the 10th, and you had to win and walk off. Game 3 was a game that should have been a nice open game like yesterday's 5-0. But okay, it's fine. They did score over more than 5 runs. There's another positive nugget. Yeah. This is only the second time the Phillies have scored more than 5 runs. There you go. There's another positive. Other positive is the bats looked good. We had Trey and Kyle back-to-back homers. Kyle has 2 homers in the game. So, okay, I'm grasping at straws here. I'm running low. Franco, welcome in, Franco. It sucks to be a Philly sports fan. Another positive is, yes, this sucked, but they won. There we go. I'm going to try to continue to be positive. But listen, a win is a win is a win. And you know where else you can win, Jamie? Let's just hit this right on the head, right from the jump as we're getting going here, and tell you about our friends over at Rite Aid, where you can find anything you need to have the small victories. Every once in a while, I need a small pick-me-up, a snack, some ice cream. They've got makeup there for us ladies or gentlemen, too, if you want to buy makeup. They've got hair products. They've got toiletries and hygienics. They've also got medication, over-the-counter medication for allergy season, because as we're dealing with allergy season, you've got the sniffles, the runny nose, the scratchy throats, the headache, the brain fog. Rite Aid has a lot of over-the-counter medication for you, Flonase and different Claritin and Zyrtec and different things you can take at Rite Aid. So check out Rite Aid today. Our friends there are different locations all over the place that you can find them, and they are always providing you with great options. They have everything at Rite Aid. It's like a smaller version of a major store where you have everything you need. Forget Walmart or Target. Go to Rite Aid. Go to Rite Aid where you can find the medication you need, the snacks you need, getting ready for game day, getting ready after game day, whatever it is. So visit your local Rite Aid today, stock up on allergy relief, or catch up on immunizations. They also have that too. immunizations for RSV, shingles, flu shots, and more. You can walk in, you can schedule a vaccine appointment at RiteAid.com, and you can get all that you need, the relief you need today over at Rite Aid.
Yeah, and if you had the Phillies run line tonight with Bet Parks, I genuinely feel bad for you because that's a bet you feel like you really should have won. But you can always win and get some cash in the game with Bet Parks Sportsbook. It's the hometown sportsbook app, and you can get in the zone with the Bet Parks Sportsbook app. Money is in the moments. You got the Chicago White Sox coming into town here next, and they're absolutely terrible at baseball. Going into tonight's game, their run differential was a minus 55. They stink. They stink real bad. You might be able to make some money with the Phillies this weekend by going against the Chicago White Sox. And when you win your first $10 bet, you can earn $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet with Bet Parks and the Bet Parks Sportsbook app, the hometown sportsbook app. Camera 1, camera 2. But yes, download the app and play along with us. Must be 21 or older. Please gamble responsibly. If someone you know has a gambling problem, ePay, and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So if you're just joining us, welcome into the Phillies post-game show. The Phillies do get the win. They get the series sweep versus the Colorado.
Should we cue the song? Are you ready for this?
Oh, God.
SNOOPDOGG. Are you ready? Sweet.
Oh. I was like, oh, God, where are you going with this? Boo. Something like that. What is the end?
Amy, we've practiced this.
No, we haven't. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Sweeps are nice.
Sweeps are nice. We like a sweep. We'd like a less stressful sweep, but a sweep is a sweep and a win is a win.
Yeah, and it's really time to, start stacking up some series wins in a row here. The Chicago White Sox, as we just mentioned in the Bet Parks read, absolutely stink. They are a very bad baseball team, and you have an opportunity here to, get some serious momentum going in April. And as we've talked about it, the Phillies are historically slow starters, but yet as dreadful as the offense has seemed at points this year, they're actually ahead of where they've been in years past. And now it certainly looks like, Renee, the offense is turning a corner. Whether it's Johan Rojas or Trea Turner, we'll get into some numbers about the little 4-game stretch he's in. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper looks like he's coming out of it. And we'll have to talk about Dear Ranger at some point tonight. But last night, Harper gets a home run, an opposite field double. To me, the opposite field gap shot is always a sign of you're in the zone. Your work is about to pay off. Things are about to get good. And in Philly's offense does look like it's about to get really good. So ahead of years past, struggling. Pitching's been great. We'll get into all the details about that. They could really start a nice little run here with the schedule ahead of them.
Listen, I feel like a run is what we're in the midst of seeing. It's just an uglier look to it than we would have expected, especially after yesterday's game. And we definitely will get into Ranger Suarez's performance because we have to. I mean, a shutout game, complete game that you pitch. And after last night, I know in the chat I was seeing the fact that, the Phillies raised your blood pressure. Here we are yet again. A game ago, as Matt Deckard saying, we were excited about the complete game shutout. Tonight, we're getting gray hairs. And yes, Slem, our blood pressure is high through the roof.
Very high.
But 7 runs scored. You gotta take what you can get because at the end of the day, we have actively been talking about the lack of offensive production. Tonight, it was the offensive production that won the game. It wasn't the bullpen. It
was Gregory Soto.
Because Gregory Soto definitely struggled. It was the offensive production that was the difference. Whereas prior to this, it's been the pitching that's been leading the Phillies. The Phillies are 11-8 right now. That's a huge positive. This is a better start than they've had in recent years to be over 500 and have a winning record, at this point of the season, 19 games in. Not to mention, as you alluded to, today I feel like we did finally start to see the bats opening up, the guys warming up things. Is it hitting season? It feels like it's hitting season. It feels like we're heating up here. And I feel like the Phillies did turn a corner that the Sixers are hoping that they can turn. I know they're down by 5 right now, heading into the fourth quarter.
To take a little potty break there at the end of the third into the fourth.
And I don't know if you guys saw him as he walked by. I looked at him, I waved. He just shook his head.
Yeah. So there's worse problems to have. Look at the Sixers.
Yes.
But right now, the Phillies are sitting in a pretty good spot. Again, I think the hardest part is it's the Rockies. It's 2 out of 3 games
the
in a
Rockies
series.
Suck.
Correct. They're now what, 4-15. They also are. You had 2 out of 3 games that were down to the wire against the Rockies, and then tonight's game, what made it worse is you go up 4-1 in the first inning after a great first inning. Kyle Schwarber leads things off with a homer. Just a second time. I think it was only the third time this season he's done that. And then also you look at Trea Turner getting a home run. That's the first time they've had back-to-back home runs to lead off the game. It felt like things were moving in the right direction, and then Gregory Soto took them out.
Yeah, I saw Tyler tweeted out like it's officially hitting season. The boys are having fun in the dugout. You did see, Garrett Stubbs doing a little shake for the ladies.
Jamie giving you guys a dance.
Schwarber and Trea were yucking it up and having fun.
We do need to point this out here. As someone who is like the worst dancer on the planet, this team doesn't look like they can dance.
They cannot.
They look like they're very kind of stiff when they're dancing, kind of robotic.
Castellanos, he can move a little bit.
I have a feeling this team is not very good.
Except Adorable Ranger with that tequila bottle and the Miller Lights last year. He looked like
they give me some solid fist pumping, jumping up and down dance vibes, but I don't see much rhythm.
All I have is the dice move.
Yeah, I don't
really
see
need
much
something
rhythm.
else.
I don't see it. I think you might be onto something there, Tyler. But yeah, I mean, listen, we got to see the vibes higher. We got to see the excitement starting to come around of, the teams, they're feeling it a little bit more. And so today was a win. Cheers to that.
Yeah, they did win. Well, I just took my sip. So.
I know. I was trying to get you before.
All right, so Kyle Schwarber. I saw this stat courtesy of, I believe, Baseball Paul, who on Twitter, who had 2 of the stats we're going to use tonight. Kyle Schwarber hits bombs.
Mm-hmm.
They're far baseballs. I still can't get over that home run in San Diego 2 years ago. I think the thing went like 740 feet. His home run tonight, I think, was 432 feet, if I'm not mistaken. So since 2022, Kyle Schwarber has hit 25 home runs over 430 feet. Everyone else on the Phillies combined, 26. And with a guy like, Bryce Harper, who's probably his biggest competition there, that's pretty amazing how much he crushes baseballs.
Oh, yeah.
So that was good to see. Now, Trea Turner is another guy offensively that looks like he has turned the corner. He is up to, I believe, last I looked, and I might have missed his last at bat, he was batting 329 all of a sudden. And this is when early April baseball, you overreact at times because you just want to watch good baseball. Like Bryce Harper's numbers improved like dramatically last night after the game because it's a small sample size, and the better you do, the higher your numbers go. So Trea Turner now is up at 329. And he had the opening home run in the first inning as well. He has 9 hits in his last 4 games with 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Baseball Paul pointed out he's had one other 4-game burst like this in his career back in 2017 with the Nats down in D.C. So Trea Turner, Kyle Schwarber looks good. Trea Turner looks good. Mm-hmm. Bryce Harper looks like he's about to bust through that door. If those 3 really keep this up, the Phillies are going to be cooking with gas here.
Yeah, for the sake of my fantasy baseball team, Bryce, please, let's get going because my team's struggling a little bit here after I was trash talking. Now, Kyle Schwarber also had some exciting numbers tonight. I know Tyler shared one in the chat with us, I should say, about his numbers, his home runs. I'll let you share that in a moment, Tyler. But tonight did also mark for Kyle Schwarber his 997th career game and his 250th home run with the first home run that he hit. He, of course, eclipsed that with now 251. And that second one at that 411 feet for that home run that he hit. So also monumental when you look at the amount of games he's played and home runs that he's hit, that Kyle Schwarber, Slim Schwarber, is feeling it, looking good, continues to show why he belongs in the leadoff spot, and continues to show how he's one of the most consistent guys. Trea Turner is another one. Finally, we've seen him consistently hitting home runs. That's 2 in the span of 3 games that he now has hit. Mm-hmm. So Trea Turner is also turning a corner, which is awesome to see that he's getting going right on par with Bryce getting going. So again, this is the type of stuff that I know in the chat I was reading from RM. What's up, RM? He said, just get wins right now. All that matters is getting those wins. Starting pitching staff has been awesome. I agree. Like the pitching as a whole, especially the starting pitching, has been really good. The numbers in the last 3 games for the starting pitching, I actually wrote it down because I was excited to see it. So the Phillies starters in this 3-game series versus the Rockies pitched 22 1/3 innings, had 1 run given up, 3 walks, and 27 strikeouts. The starting pitching's been great. The bullpen, for the most part, has been really good, aside from a hiccup tonight with Gregory Soto. And so now to see the bats heating up right on cue, that is encouraging to see. Johan Rojas has been given much better at bats. I was happy to see him almost get a little home run there.
Almost a home run.
Almost did. But I love seeing when he gets to celebrate. You know, when guys get to see the ball off their bat, land in a spot where it's either just, keeping the play alive, keeping the inning alive, or definitely a home run, you're starting to see the confidence growing. And as they talk about, and as we know, it's contagious. Alec Boehm, another one, contagious. So small steps, guys. Today felt like a day that was more important than just the result, but a chance to close out the series with the sweep and to get the bats going.
Yeah, the bats getting going is definitely more important than Gregory Soto almost blowing a game.
I think
because
every single time we've mentioned the bats we have.
Yeah, well, because the bats is better than Gregory Soto's poor performance. So the net outcome here is a good thing. And getting a sweep is always a good thing, regardless of how bad the team is that you're playing. Let's get into Christopher Sanchez and his absolute filth. Good to see Alec Boehm a little bit get it going, too, with a RBI double in the first as well.
Bless you, Tyler.
Christopher Sanchez was really, really good. 10 strikeouts tonight. He can't argue with that ever. And his changeup is becoming one of the nastier pitches in baseball. We'll get into the advanced numbers on that in a minute. But 6 innings pitched tonight. 10 strikeouts, no home runs allowed. He threw 72% strikes, had 17 whiffs on the night, 0 earned runs, 5 hits, and only 1 walk. Christopher Sanchez, kind of answering those questions we had preseason of is what we saw last year real? Can you keep this going again? Are you going to the mall after school today? No. He's answering those questions and making you feel like you got a pretty good damn rotation on your hands. Did you get that movie quote thrown in there?
I knew you were going to ask me. I actually said no for anybody that was wondering why I randomly yelled no, because Jamie, I'm triggered. Are you going to the mall after school today?
Just guess the movie.
Is it really Billy Madison again?
It's Billy Madison, Renee.
Yes. Yay. Sorry, I yelled.
In doubt,
I yelled.
Guess that movie.
Yeah. When in doubt, just go Billy Madison.
So you're really a big Billy Madison fan.
It's
low-key what I'm learning. That and Dumb and Dumber.
I've probably seen the movie I don't know. I would guess 113 times.
Is my SpongeBob.
It's a very specific number. I mean,
Wait, what?
Yeah. I just made up. I've seen it a lot, is my point. Phil Rizzuto, those look like R's. Those are Z's. Anyway, Christopher Sanchez was tremendous tonight. We mentioned his changeup. Now, Tyler, I hope you're sitting down because these advanced numbers on his changeup are amazing. Christopher Sanchez threw 4 pitches tonight. Actually, sinker, changeup, slider, fastball. He threw his changeup 30 times. Which came out to about 31% of his pitches. Average velocity on said changeup was 85.2 miles per hour. Here's where it gets really, really sexy. The zone percentage rate for the said changeup was 40%. The chase rate on the changeup is a whopping 66.7%. His whiff percentage when throwing the changeup tonight was 40.9%. That is becoming his. Wow. He threw his sinker the most tonight at 48.5% of the time. Average velocity on that was 94.5 miles an hour, which is really nice. Got a chase rate on that of 21.1%. But when you see numbers of chase percentage at 66.7 and almost 41% whiff rate, that is filth. And Christopher Sanchez, damn.
And I think what makes it more impressive is the fact that he had thrown 73 pitches in the first 4 innings, 15 of those whiffs. But yesterday, Ranger was about 86 pitches in the 8th inning. Like, it was a pretty high pitch count he saw early on. And Christopher Sanchez, I thought, handled it really well and continued to show, aside from that first the run he gave up in the first inning, the top of the first, I feel like Christopher Sanchez has continuously showed last year was not a fluke.
No.
And he's been meant, and we've talked about this. You can see the difference of feeling comfortable. He's talked about how last year he still was dealing with some of that imposter syndrome and didn't feel like he belonged. And look, Sanchez, you belong. You definitely have earned your spot, and it's great to see that he's really rounding it out, the starting pitching core, in a nice way. I know there's mention of Taiwan in the chat. We'll get into that as well. But Tyler, I know I was gonna toss to you before. Finally, let me give you a chance. You got some numbers for us on Kyle and on Chris.
Yeah, so Sanchez today again was really good, and I thought that early he wasn't particularly sharp, but he did a really nice job of battling in, understanding what was working and what wasn't. He gave up contact on balls in play of 90 miles an hour or more just 5 times tonight. And I think, guys, the book on Chris Sanchez is pretty much there at this point. The changeup is filthy. When the slider is on, he is on, because the sinker does get hit a little bit more than you would like it to. The average exit velocity on balls put in play today on the sinker was 103 miles an hour. Now, granted, that's a little deceiving because that was the only one time that a ball get put in play off of the sinker in particular. But the numbers for the sinker are much higher, like batting average on balls in play against the sinker versus the changeup and the slider. He's been really, really effective. And quite honestly, guys, I think the one thing that I really appreciate about Sanchez, it's the same thing that I've appreciated about Ranger Suarez for so long, is that these two lefties know how to attack right-handed hitters. It is hard to pitch opposite hand because you have to be able to go to maybe a third pitch as opposed to your secondary pitch. Now, in Chris Sanchez's case, he has the luxury of his, quote, secondary pitch,
right,
but really his best pitch being the one that works well to the opposite side hitter, as in being able to throw that changeup, especially down and away, and then you bury it on the back foot. Like, what he has done over the last 2 seasons, last season and the first couple of starts in this year, is he's really rounded himself out into being a very consistent pitcher, into knowing what you're going to get from him more times than not.
And that's the key. And when you have a guy that can take the mound and you don't have to hold your breath and get nervous and wonder, what are you going to see from him today? That's partly why, I know you're obviously a huge Ranger fan for his adorable cheeks, but that's why I like Ranger Suarez. You always know what you're going to get from him.
Hey, back off. He's my man.
Oh.
You back off.
Well, there.
You can have anybody else. He's mine. Called dibs on him 2 years ago. Once I saw those cheeks light up the dugout with joy.
Oh, man. I shouldn't have brought him up.
We'll get into Ranger.
But, no, I think that the key is you need those guys that are just consistent. And they don't even have to always be the best on your team. You just need someone that you know what you're going to get from them, whether it is even like a Junior Marte, I feel like is also finding his footing. Like someone that you know, what can they give me for an inning, 2 innings, or in Sanchez's case, 5-6 innings. And now you can game plan a little bit better. So I agree. That's a good point you bring up.
You bring up knowing what you're always going to get. And you know what you're always going to get right here with my friends at Miller Lite? The same consistent quality and fresh taste every single time. Since 1975, it's the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one. When friends and family are around enjoying a Phillies series sweep, or perhaps, I don't want to get ahead of myself, a Sixers win over the Heat tonight to have us facing, the New York Knicks.
They're up by 1 with 6 minutes left.
All right. Well, Miller Lights are great to have, whether it's friends and family and no sports on TV, or whether you're at an event, or you're in the air, or you're on the beach. Miller Lite is always there for you. 96 calories per 12 ounces. They have more of the taste you want and less of the stuff you don't. And a lot has changed over the time since 1975, but not the taste of Miller Lite. It's the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one because they keep it simple. Unbeatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. It's the light beer that tastes like a beer should taste. The original light beer since 1975. And times change, but you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. It tastes like Miller time. Does it ever? To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, go to MillerLite.com/PHLY Phils, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Please celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces.
Well, friends, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button while you're joining us in the chat, watching our show, but also possibly watching the end of the Sixers game. And let me tell you about another refreshing drink that's good for you. That's our friends over at Olipop, the world's first functional soda with a classic soda taste and the benefits of plant-based fiber, prebiotics, and other botanical ingredients that really help support your gut. Over at Olipop, they have per can, 2 to 5 grams of sugar, 9 grams of fiber, allowing you to make sure you're taking care of your digestive health because 2 out of every 3 Americans claim they're not getting the recommended fiber and are dealing with gut health issues. Well, Olipop is tackling that issue and much more. You can find Olipop in 30,000 retailers nationwide, including Wawa, Sprouts, Wegmans, Target, GoPuff, ShopRite, and they're also available online on Amazon or also on drinkolipop.com. Now, Olipop has lots of flavors for you to try out. Classic grape, strawberry vanilla, cream soda, cherry cola, Dr. Goodwin, classic root beer, orange squeeze. And you can check out those flavors. And also with the code PHLY20, get 20% off your next Olipop order. That discount does only apply to one-time orders, not to subscriptions. And be able to purchase some refreshing, delicious soda. Olipop, good for your stomach, good for your taste buds, and also providing you with chances to make sure you can buy them in a lot of different places. Again, 30,000 stores nationwide to be able to purchase some Olipop. Check them out today with that code PHLY20 for your 20% off.
You know, it's not good for my stomach. Jaquez from Miami driving right down the lane untouched and doing a 2-hand slam to take the lead back with 5 minutes to go. But we're not going to let that affect our night.
Because when the season is on the line, you shouldn't be giving up these types of baskets.
The worst part,
Come
if the
on,
Sixers
man.
lose tonight, is having to watch them again on Friday.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. It could be like the Pelicans who are without Zion Williamson.
Yeah, and then
Brandon
Brandon
to drop 40 and
Ingram.
11 and then get hurt.
Yeah, and then Brandon Ingram was dog shit. And
Yeah.
the Sixers are now down 3 with under 5 minutes to go. We're fine. We're totally fine. We're going to be joined by John Foley momentarily live from Citizens Bank Park. He just finished up with Rob Thompson down there at the manager's press conference. So we'll be joined by John momentarily to talk about the vibe down at the stadium tonight, maybe what everybody was feeling after that game. But it was a great Christopher Sanchez game. It's a great offensive performance in this series, I would say, overall.
It has been.
We'll take all of that. Series sweeps are always good. But before we get to John, can we just throw some bouquets at my man last night?
Oh, okay.
You know
We're
I
doing
had to
this.
gush a little bit today. Renee, Ranger
You're predictable.
Suarez, you were spectacular, sir. Thank you for that performance. Thank you for giving the bullpen a nice night off.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos, sir. Thank
Clearly
you.
they needed another night off. But listen, the numbers behind Rangers.
Oh, yeah. Hit me with it.
Okay.
Do I need to go
Are
get
you
a
ready?
cigarette and some
Okay.
bonbons?
So,
And then maybe a glass of Merlot?
so Ranger has a.
I'm not going to drink fucking Merlot. What movie? You're not going to get
Not
this
Billy
one.
Madison.
No, it's definitely not. Sideways?
Oh no.
If you like wine, it's
so
okay.
Rangers, I love wine.
It's an okay. It's
You
an
know
okay
me.
movie. Yeah.
You know I love wine.
I just meant like general. You know, if you like wine, you'll like Sideways kind of thing.
Okay, so I would like it.
Maybe,
So Ranger
yeah.
Suarez has a 1.73 ERA. Now
That's
across
good.
94 appearances,
That's good.
and 67 of those being starts since the beginning of 2021, he's got a 3.10 ERA.
In this economy,
Now, Suarez also has not allowed a run in 18 consecutive innings.
I like that you came loaded with Ranger stats.
I did.
For me.
This is just for you. This is just
great.
for you.
Just keep going. You can have all the time you need. Go ahead.
His ERA, the lowest ERA by a Phillies lefty through 4 starts to start a season since
Lefty, Cliff Lee.
Steve Carlton.
Oh.
One.
Oh, wow. I shortchanged my
Oh my
guy. I'm
gosh.
sorry.
So his 1.73 ERA, just to repeat that, is the lowest by a Phillies lefty through 4 starts to start a season since Steve Carlton back in 1983, starting with a 1.69. There you go. Even more excited for you. ERA.
He did that on purpose.
Oh Lord. I think I'm out of nuggets.
Okay.
And we know he has never pitched more than 155 and a third innings in a
Yes.
season. And I want to say this because that is one of his goals for this year, is that he's able to pitch over 200 innings. He's never made more than 29 starts. And Ranger Suarez is hoping this is the year to eclipse 200. And if he continues like this, he's well on his way. well on his way.
Yeah. Ranger spectacular with him and Christopher Sanchez. You really kind of have struck gold. You know, Jim Salisbury joined us yesterday, and we were all kind of gushing about Ranger a little bit. And Tyler, if you can pull up the Bet Parks Cy Young odds, I'm curious how much they changed. Because oddly enough, we were, my buddy Ricky Batalico, I actually texted him last night. I was like, well, the Cy Young race is officially on, Ricky. I know it's only April, but he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball so far, at least in the NL for sure. Him and Tyler Glasnow and a couple others. Jones from the Pirates has been spectacular. But, if you want to get irrationally excited about Cy Young races in April, Rangers certainly in the discussion right now. But Jim Salisbury said, they got this kid for $25,000.
These numbers moved pretty significantly.
So when we did the show on Tuesday and we brought it up, you had plus 10,000 on the Bet Park Sportsbook for Ranger Suarez. I tweeted last night from our show account. I guarantee you those odds have dropped some. Now let's take a guessing game before you give it.
Okay.
Renee, it was plus 10,000 before his start on Tuesday. What do you think?
7,500.
That's a good area to land at. I'm going to go.
I'm going off the cuff. First thought.
I'm going to go plus 8,000.
How about you cut the original number in half?
Plus 5,000.
He is down to 5,000 now.
I should have made that bet on Tuesday.
See, now I was thinking they wouldn't cut it that much because it's April.
A couple of guys have fallen over the last couple of days. Now, for example, Darvish got roughed up on Sunday night and then was on the placed on the IL. He's now to 7,500. One guy that I think is moving up the right way with Ranger Suarez, James Paxton's pitched pretty well for the Dodgers over the first couple of starts. But, yeah, he's left quite a few guys. Bobby Miller, Andrew Abbott, Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo. How about a pair of or a trio of Reds starting pitchers in that list right there? Andrew Abbott, Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, all at plus 7,500.
Wow. He gets his odds cut in half with a complete game shutout. In April. But
he is only the second pitcher in Major League Baseball to pitch a shutout. This is, of course, his second of his career.
I mean, it's rare these days.
And he had a career high 18 swings and misses, which did pass his previous.
Oh, you got more for me. Keep going. Keep going. Who's got a cigarette?
His previous high was 15. He pitched that 5 times where he had 15 swings and misses in a game. And then, of course, to have a complete game, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, in this economy, in this day and age.
5 changeups, 4 four-seamers, 1 sinker, 1 cutter.
Yeah.
For his whiffs.
Ranger. And the thing, Jim mentioned it, and Jim's going to join us tomorrow as well. And then John will be back in studio with us on Friday.
We got the J and the J.
Yeah, Jim and John. Jimmy John.
And Jamie. Everybody's name begins with J but me.
God. Well, I'm really a James. So we have a John, a James, and Jim Jim might be a James. We'll have to ask him.
Can we be a little less Christian and basic names?
White Irish, you mean?
I wasn't going to say it. And then Renee.
Quick shout out to my nephew born today. A little shout out to Reese Neville Blair.
Reese.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
RHYS.
Oh, that was intentional.
No, not because of Reese Hospital.
Okay.
It's just a traditional Irish name, and my family or my sister really liked it. So did my brother-in-law. So shout out to Reese Neville.
Congrats
maybe
to
he's watching his
them.
first PHLY Phillies show, or maybe hopefully my sister's sleeping in the hospital. But shout out to them.
That's so exciting.
And I forget where I was going before that.
J names.
Speaking of J names, one of our 900 J names.
Oh, look at you,
is
Tyler.
ready.
John Foley, let's welcome in from Citizens Bank Park. You are looking live. John, we were talking about Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez. These two guys have been spectacular to start the year, and I don't think that's an understatement. I think any team around Major League Baseball would shank any of us to get the quality of these guys as their third and fourth starters.
Shank.
Shank.
Shiv.
We cannot hear you, John. We will try and sort this out. Let's see. The old mute button get you?
Possibly. All the excitement of the win and the sweep and
Tyler and John, one of our other Jays, will.
Let
there
there
we
be
go.
sound.
I heard him.
All right.
From the top, John.
I think that was on me, but I'm going to blame Tyler anyway.
Yeah. Well, Joel Embiid.
I blame Gregory Soto.
Joel Embiid just hit a big 3.
Let's blame Gregory Soto. Man, my heart. That was much closer than it needed to be.
John, I'll just update you. Joel Embiid just hit a big 3 to put the Sixers up 2, and then
Didn't
the Miami
matter.
Heat just came back and hit a 3, and now they're down 1 with 2 minutes to go. My first question, Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez. My God, the Phillies have found gold with these two. For a third and fourth starter in a rotation, it is such a luxury to have.
It really is. I mean, look at this rotation now. Wheeler, Nola, Ranger, Sanchez. You got Taiwan Walker coming back at some point, and Turnbull has looked pretty good. I mean, teams would kill for this. I mean, they're going to frustrate us at times, just like anybody else. But I mean, they're set up. That's what really I think separates them from some of these previous years where they were just squeaking in as a wild card. You have a rotation that puts you in a place where you can go on extended runs. Hopefully, they're starting one right now. But that's for sustained success through the course of the season. I mean, to have these guys and not just be waiting for Wheeler and Nola to get back on the mound. I mean, it's a game changer.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And John, obviously, being down at Citizens Bank Park, definitely want to get into at some point the sights and sounds that went down in this entire series, because it's been a wild one. But let's start with Rob Thompson's comments. You just had a chance to hear from him. What was some of the key things that you took away from Rob's post-game comments?
So we asked him about Soto and if he saw anything specific that he was concerned about. He said it was just, failure to locate, command problems. A familiar story with Soto. Obviously, a lot of praise for the bats. Johan Rojas in particular. It's exciting to see him maybe starting to come around. I asked Rob. There's a lot of talk in spring training about the mechanics and them being pretty close to something clicking. And I asked him, does he think it's there and it's clicked now? And he was a little cautious about that. He said, we need to see it for a little bit more of a sustained period. He's a little more of an even keel guy than I am. I'm fired up about Yoro. It sounds like, things are trending in the right direction, but he wasn't ready to declare that he's all the way there yet, which is exciting in and of itself. If there's more to come here, that double, man, he crushed that one. I think somebody tweeted out that it would have been gone in 3 or 4 ballparks, and it was a heck of a hit, and it's great to see.
Yeah, John, and I think the big takeaway from this series is it looks like some of the bats overall are coming into form. I saw you tweet out earlier, Trea Turner's now batting, like 330-ish or something like that. Bryce Harper gets the opposite field double and home run last night. Schwarber gets 2 home runs tonight. It looks like the top and the heart of the order is really starting to round into form here. And thank God, because it was getting tough to watch. Not that the W's and L's are the end of the world right now, but watching ugly baseball gets tough. And it looks like the bats are back. Did you get that kind of sense from Rob a little bit as well, or anybody else in the press box?
Absolutely. I mean, before Soto came in, it was a party here at Citizens Bank Park. I mean, everybody was clicking. You look, Turner looks great. Schwarber's hitting his bombs. You've got enough guys going right now that you feel really great about the team. There's not many guys you're too concerned about. Castellanos, an obvious exception, but for the most part, this is the team we wanted. This is the team we were hoping for. The rotation is rolling, the lineup is hitting, and a little bullpen trouble today, but overall, the bullpen's been great. So this is the team we were promised, and it's starting to show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as frustrating as some may feel, because these were not the prettiest games, especially looking at it being the Rockies, there are worse positions to be in. I mean, the Dodgers, I think they just dropped their 4th straight series. The Phillies at least won their 3rd straight series and got the sweep. Was it 3 or 4 now? I can't even keep up. But they get their first sweep of the season. What were, as you mentioned, the vibes being high, what were exactly kind of the behind the scenes that you saw this series from the Phillies now that they've won 3 out of the last 4? That's right. It was a split with the Pirates.
Stupid 4-game series.
Yeah, I forgot. I knew it was 3. But what were the behind the scenes things that you saw that really, you felt like may have been missed from the outside looking in from someone watching on TV?
It's so I haven't been able to see the broadcast, so I don't know if it's really picking up just sort of the vibe and atmosphere of the ballpark. And you all know how it goes when the team's struggling. It can be a little bit of a dismal place, but there's just the energy's great. It's electric. I don't know if you all saw they did the light show for Alvarado coming in. I don't know if the broadcast picked that up. And
Better
everyone
not the
was going
broadcast,
well.
yeah.
So yeah, just the energy, the atmosphere, the feel, the vibes. It's everything's feeling good now. It's a lot different than things turned around pretty quick.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, John, just to update you, I know Tuesday you heard us talking about Ranger Suarez's Cy Young odds. They were plus 10,000 on Bet Parks. They've plummeted to plus 5,000. So I hope you got your bets in.
I got mine in at plus 6,000, I think. So I was a little late. I was a little late to the game, but I'm still feeling good about
bets but me?
I did not. No.
I think I want to make one.
Get in there.
Let me go.
That's still good value. I think it's still good value. Ranger, he's going to win it. He's going to win.
Yes.
His only competition is Zach Wheeler.
Yeah. The Chicago White Sox are next up. They have a negative run differential of minus 55, and they might be worse than the Colorado Rockies. I don't want to get greedy, but 2 sweeps in a row? Why not?
Hey, the White Sox are what, 2-14? Something. You never want to get too caught up in that because this Phillies franchise has proven over decades that when teams come in and really desperate teams come in, they should beat up on that. They sometimes cause problems. But you're in a good spot. You couldn't ask for better. And yeah, let's get greedy. Let's get another sweep.
Sox did just beat the Royals tonight 2-1. Wow. So they picked up their 3rd win of the season.
In an empty stadium.
Which actually I think kind of helps take some pressure off the Phillies because Kansas City's been off to a really good start this season as well. So for the White Sox to get that win is impressive. Yeah. But John, I know I see the lights have been turned off behind you. I feel like it's slowly.
Yeah.
They're slowly
shut it down.
So any last tidbits before you go that you want to share from today's game or even just the series as a whole before we start looking ahead?
Just they're just doing what good teams do, and that's beat up on bad teams. And if they just take care of business against teams like the Rockies, there'll be a lot of chatter like, oh, it was the Rockies and they almost blew it, but you know what? It was a sweep. And then the White Sox come to town and you take care of business against them. And take advantage of these opportunities right now. And it does. It looks like they're locking things up right now. It was always as a kid
like that guy at the vet that lived there.
yeah, exactly. As a kid, it's like sort of a fantasy, just being locked in the stadium.
Don't get locked in Citizens Bank Park. Thank you, John. We appreciate you for joining us and looking forward to seeing all the continued work that you're doing and having you join us here in studio Friday or post game Friday.
See you, John. That's John Foley. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at 2008 Phils with a Z and checking out all his work on allphly.com. I think Jim Salisbury is going to get a piece up next week for us. He's going to be a contributor to some Phillies writing as well, but John will be the beat on the grind there, and we're really excited to have those two here with us. And it does look like, Renee,
it's happening.
Should we just wait till the end? Because it looks like this is kind of final possession here. We'll just watch the Sixers game along with you, sickos. But the Sixers are currently up 101-98, 19 seconds left. I believe the Sixers were just fouled. I was talking to John. I couldn't really tell. But Coach Spo is huddling his gang up. And the Sixers hopefully can get out of here with a win tonight. Now, speaking of all PHLY and, like the diehard membership, Kyle Newbeck just said in our Discord channel, I think Nico Batum is going to have a drug test after this game. My God, I think Batum has really made his presence felt here in the fourth quarter. He's got 20 points on the game. He's come up with a couple key rebounds, a couple good boards.
Definitely big plays down the
He's
stretch.
got some long-ass arms.
He does. And I know,
Deceivingly long.
for those that have had a chance to join our Sixers crew doing their watch-along, this is a great game for a watch-along because for Nick Batum and Joel Embiid to combine for 43 tonight and literally be the reason why the Sixers are about to squeeze this game out. He does a great job in the paint. His presence, his defense, his rebounding,
Oh, you
his
better
shooting.
get the ball in. God
Oh
damn.
boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
Ew. Call a
Yikes.
foul somewhere.
Oh my gosh! Bodies are hitting the floor.
16 seconds left, and Kelly Oubre is going to the line for 2. Hopefully, this will ice it. And then that would mean the Sixers will take on the New York Knicks if they don't blow
We
this.
get a nice Phillies sports sweep today.
Yeah, not bad.
Like when our
and
teams
I
win.
guess who I forgot to tell you. I ran into Jim Curtin this morning at the coffee shop.
Wow!
So I got to catch up with Jim a little bit
I
and
love
say
that.
hello. So
Another team that's winning and
he
still
said, keep up
undefeated
the
in the
good
MLS.
work at PHLY.
Look at
And
that.
I said, you and the Union keep up the good start to the year you're
There you
having.
go.
So
Listen, this
good
is
vibes in Philly
this
sports
is the
today.
reality of it. And somebody's gonna be mad because we're talking about sports other than baseball. But the Phillies just swept the Rockies. A sweep is a sweep, and they are over 500. The Sixers
the
are about
Flyers
to win
exist.
to advance past the play-in games. The Philadelphia Union are undefeated in MLS play right now.
There
The
you go.
Flyers are flying.
They exist. They just signed Massimo
They did.
Rizzo
I saw that
from the University of Denver.
Philly
Is that not the
sports-
most Philly name ever? Massimo Rizzo? Come on. I did not love this kid.
The thing is, as frustrated as we may, and
I got a
Devontae
son
Smith
named
just
Mosh.
got a nice
Yeah.
extension. Listen, Philly sports might be frustrating a lot, and like 99% of the time, but every once in a while we get these days where it's like our problems in this city are not that bad. We could be other sports cities.
Yeah, we could
I
be.
won't name some of them, but you know who you are. New York.
Yeah. Well, Batum and Embiid are back on defense. Maxi's on the line. Sixers up 103-100. So this is going to be fun because the Knicks and Sixers have never really been good as we divert the final 5 minutes here on a little Sixers talk because the Phillies dominated. What else do you want to say?
Well, and I like to Kevin's point, they should be able to win and sweep the White
'em.
Sox, continue this winning streak.
Sweep them.
Let's keep it going.
Let's get greedy.
Yeah,
6
I
in a
like
row.
it.
It has happened before.
It has.
To quote the great Lou, what's his last name? Smith?
Lou Brown.
Brown. I knew it was. Damn it. That's good work by you, Tyler. But yes. All right.
You
we're
were
getting
talking
out
about
of
a
here.
movie I've seen 150 times?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. What was it? 113, you said? Yeah, it's Major League.
Yeah, so we're going to go watch the PHLY Sixers guys do their post-game show. They've been doing a watch-along throughout the game as well, but the Sixers are poised to take this one. The Phillies get the sweep over the Colorado Rockies, and we will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m., doing the Phillies show here in studio, and then Friday night is going to be a post-game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say a victory post-game because they're playing the White Sox.
And it better be. It better be a victory post game. Listen, tomorrow when we're back live at 11, we'll be able to talk through some more about, I know Kevin's was asking about the bullpen and different positions that the Phillies might look to upgrade. We'll get into those after we've had a chance to sleep on tonight's victory and hopefully the Sixers victory. We'll talk through some more of just unpacking.
If they're up 5 with 8 seconds,
Right,
if they
like-
blow this,
Well, listen.
it wasn't meant
the
to
Phillies
be.
were also up.
Reggie
at
Miller
1
ain't
point,
walking
7-1.
through that door.
But no, ultimately, lots of exciting things to take away. Still some areas to talk through. But we are going to get ready to #FreeHerb. Thanks for the reminder, Slem. And look ahead to the next series because we got a Phillies day off tomorrow. We get a day to unpack everything. Our buddy Jim's going to be on with us. So lots to talk about tomorrow. 11 a.m. Be there or be square.
Yes, we will see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great night. Go
Bye,
Phils.
guys.
We all silly like the mayor.